Cheers. Hello folks, welcome back. It's Tash here from Undefined Life. Hope you're doing very well indeed, despite the chaos that is unfolding on the planet right now. I've got your back, baby. We've got a collective card reading dropping in on the eve of the Spring Equinox for you, courtesy of The Secret Language of Light Oracle by Denise Jarvie, a very beautiful deck. So I felt called to pull from this deck this morning. Now, I'll be completely honest, I did not realise it was the Spring Equinox tomorrow. I thought it fell on the 22nd of March, but the fact that it's tomorrow makes these cards even more apt. So I set the intention when I did my reading this morning that I wanted to know what was happening within the collective at the moment. What do we need to know? What action do we need to take in order to work with the collective energies right now? And the Spring Equinox energies, which of course are a time of transition, of renewal, of stepping out of winter, the inner winter, and actually moving through into a time of expansion. So the cards that came up, I feel are pretty apt given the time we're in at the moment. So as I was shuffling, two cards dropped out of the deck. Now the first card I'd actually seen in my mind's eye as I was shuffling. And I mean, that could have been a kind of intuitive download. It could have just been that I was kind of half expecting this. It would have been odd if it hadn't come through, given everything that's happening on the planet right now. And that card is the Awakening card, a very beautiful, luminous card there, as you can see. Lots we can say about that. And the second card, I feel, was a response to my question about what action can we take as a collective? What can we do to support the process that's unfolding on the planet right now? What can we do to help seed more light, to anchor in more light, to help spread awareness and shift the collective consciousness, which is, of course, why we're here. And this was the card that came through. Don't know if you can see that, but it says, let your light shine. So let's start with the Awakening card. This card has actually been coming up a lot for me also within my personal readings. This card is symbolic on a number of levels. So let's look at it in relation to the Spring Equinox. At the moment, we are moving into the Spring Equinox energies, which, as we mentioned earlier in the video, is all about the kind of expansion, the opening up of new possibilities of new life. So life is literally beginning to awaken on the planet right now, in nature. Certainly where I am in the UK, cherry blossom is starting to bloom on the trees, daffodils are starting to spring up. So in terms of the seasonal energies at play, we are looking at the awakening of life on the planet. So we've moved out of the kind of deep winter phase and we're moving into this more expanded state. And I think that this really also then sets the tone for what's happening within the collective at the moment, where a lot of people who have been experiencing lots of restrictions, lockdown, who have been feeling very limited and perhaps withdrawn, there's this sense, there's this stirring in the collective of new possibility, of new potential, of new life, which often comes with better weather, which often comes with the changing seasons as we head towards summer. But it's more than that now. In relation to this awakening energy, it's being fueled by this collective need to rise in every sense. So we are, of course, going through a huge transit as a species. Humanity is evolving, humanity is ascending, and it's not evolving in the sense of, I'm going to sprout a third hand out of my chest and my third eye is literally going to pop open and be luminous purple, although that would be pretty cool. It means it's an evolution at a state of consciousness. So although there are physical changes happening and they're subtle, we won't see them at the tangibly physical level, this evolution is really happening at the level of energy, at the level of consciousness. This is a moment in the collective history as it unfolds where humanity is beginning to awaken from this slumber of unconsciousness that we've been living in. We've been almost living under a spell. We've been living under the spell of the unconscious, living in autopilot, living in a highly programmed, highly conditioned way, taking no responsibility for our lives, living in states of victimhood, lack poverty consciousness, taking direct authority from governments, from institutions that are built on hierarchy. We have been living in a way that is not in alignment with who we really are. And we're beginning to sense that now. Many, many, many people on the planet are beginning to awaken to, first of all, the dysfunction, to the corruption, to the lies, to the deception that is widespread, the shadows that have been running rampant on the planet. People are beginning to awaken to that now and beginning to see through the veil of deception. But even more than that, that awakening process is also beginning to stir within them the knowing that they are more than they have been told, that they have more potential than perhaps they've ever tapped into, that there is more to this life than just living within the confines of society, within these kind of parameters that have been set for us, and that there is a way to thrive in this life where we can truly, truly live a life that is full of joy, and also a life that honours and respects the planet that we are stewards of, that nourishes us, sustains us. So I really feel at this time, the awakening card is symbolic on so many levels, because it is just further emphasizing that we are in it now. The awakening process has indeed begun. The idiom comes to mind when I look at this card. If we do what we've always done, we'll get what we've always got. So if we were to remain living unconsciously, we would be living our lives in autopilot, disconnected from our heart centers, disconnected from each other, completely disconnected from the earth. And what has that got us? Well, history shows us that living as we've always done only seeds fear, guilt, shame, destruction, war, famine, poverty, lies, deception, corruption. And unfortunately, it's living in that way that has got us to where we are now. But the universe always has a plan. We almost had to get to such extreme levels of alienation from our heart spaces and from the planet until we could awaken. We needed the contrast of suffering that much to begin to stir something within us. The sentient part of us began to be alerted that we were living in dissonance with who we really are. So although it looks deeply disjointed, it looks like a very fragmented world at the moment, this is actually an essential part of the collective awakening. The duality and polarity that plays out is actually what provides us with the spectrum of experiences we need to realize the nature of this world, the wholeness within ourselves, the fact that we are interconnected to all people, all beings, all life on this planet. So the illusion of separateness, the kind of veil of separateness that has been cloaking our consciousness, is beginning to lift now. And we're beginning to see the world we've been living in for what it really is. The rose-tinted glasses are off, and we can see the people, the establishments, the systems for what they really are. We can see that we've been living in a way that is not conducive or indeed sustainable for life on this planet. So I feel like this card is a really important reminder to anyone out there that feels alone or confused about what's happening in the world right now. Hold the faith. Know that we are in the most important, pivotal, powerful transformation in the history of the human species. And all is well, all is on track. We're exactly where we need to be to get where we're going. Change can sometimes be messy. This awakening process will be uncomfortable for many, but it's necessary now. We can't go on living the way we've lived for so long. And we won't. It just won't happen. So let's take a look at the second card that came through in the reading, which is, of course, Let Your Light Shine. Another really beautiful card here. And what I first noticed when I saw this card was how the form looked distinct from the light behind it. And what that reminded me of, really what that conjured within my mind's eye, was this sense that we live so heavily identified with our physical form, with the thoughts that we have, with the emotions we experience, that we don't live in an embodied way with our souls. We live as though we're separate to the spiritual dimension of our existence, which is just not the case. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, not the other way around. So I feel like this card is really, really calling us to begin to live as the light that we are, live from that place. When we live from that place, we move through life with an integrity and an authenticity that can't be challenged. We are no longer concerned with the judgments of others. We are no longer concerned with the mental construct that we're not good enough, that we're not valuable. We live from a place of trust and knowing, and that's what we're being asked to do now. We're being asked to embrace our truth, whatever feels right for us, really, really right for us, beyond the conditioning, beyond what we've been told we need to be by society, by our parents, by our peers, by our teachers, by our bosses. We're being asked to live our truth now. We're being asked to embrace our unique truth, our unique gifts, our unique dharma, our unique purpose. We're being asked now to step up and shine. We didn't come here to play small. We didn't come here to bow down to convention and live as everyone else lives. We came here because we're unique beings with something unique to offer humanity at this pivotal time in the evolutionary process. So ask yourself, what is it that you have to offer, that you want to share? What is your soul drawing you towards that you've not yet acknowledged or integrated or embodied? Because at this moment, our hearts are calling us. They're calling us forward. If you're not already subscribed and you enjoyed this video, please subscribe below. And I encourage you to come and join me on Instagram at Undefined Life. I hope to be posting more on here. And also I will be launching my website very, very soon. Lots of goodies to come. So wishing you all the best, sending you my love, and I look forward to connecting with you all again very soon. Hey guys, me again. So in typical novice vlogger style, my phone ran out of storage space midway through the second card reading. So you might have noticed the ending of that reading was a little bit abrupt. I've only just noticed during the editing process now, so I can only apologize. I just wanted to hop on and add an affirmation that came through just as I was doing the ending of the card reading, and that is that I make the choice to live a life that I love. So if we remember that the last card was Let Your Light Shine, this is all about embodying your truth, embracing your soul's mission, your soul's calling, in order to live a life that lights you up. It literally lights you up from the inside out. So this affirmation will help to energize that knowing. I make the choice to live a life that I love. We came here to undo the wrongdoings of unconsciousness that have been plaguing the planet for so long, and to pave a new way for humanity, to charter a new course for this planet and all of the life on it. Keep going, keep embodying your truth. I'm with you every step of the way, sending all my love, and we'll speak soon.